Hello, and welcome to Crits and Knits. Oh, I just realized that I didn't post anywhere on socials that we were playing tonight, or streaming tonight.
We're not
playing.
We're not playing. We're chatting.
We're just chatting.
Well, we
Oops,
have 8
all
viewers,
this.
including me.
And me?
What?
Blink, blink, what? Some of us were not paying attention at all.
Oh, we have viewers,
We do.
Oh,
including
hello.
your mama.
Oh, yay, of course. I like that.
Hi, Daddy's mom.
Danny's mom.
Here we go. I'm putting out the thing in our Discord.
Thank you. Do you want to drop it into the QNC one, or do you want me to?
I can do that once I get someone else started talking about knitting. I'll just sneak over here and do some tippy tapping.
Aw, thanks, Danny's mom.
Hi, Mom.
You're very kind. I know that I am like my camera has me super like blown out and white. I am white, just not this white usually.
You know, sometimes cameras just be like that.
And I am not going to mess around with it. I got back from a 2-week time in Washington yesterday, so I'm not messing with it.
Yep.
I don't care enough.
I don't know why my phone is not posting things. That's fine. We'll try again.
Dance and Knit. That's
There
a
we
great
go.
name.
Hello. I don't know who Dance and Knit is, but hello and welcome, or welcome back if I have forgotten that I do know who you are. It is a Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, I think.
It is the Mondayest Wednesday to ever.
Oh, Roz from
hey,
Australia.
Roz.
Hi.
Hi, Roz.
Okay, hi.
We all have that moment of, oh, we know who you are. Some days it's
You
hard
know
to
who
remember
Roz is.
Instagram name versus Twitch name versus Discord name versus your name.
The worst is when you have a username that you've used mostly everywhere, and then somebody else has it on another platform, and you're like,
I can't be me.
can't
Right.
be me. How dare you?
No
Like
one
when-
no one else has taken Veta Lost one anywhere yet.
Somebody got
Nice.
Holloway on Twitter in like 2009, used it once, and then never logged back in. So I was
Murder.
Paul underscore away on there.
Not cool, man.
I mean, I say that I'm
That
Vanna
stinks.
1895 on Twitter, but who cares about Twitter anymore?
I was gonna say
Honestly,
that stinks that you don't have your name on Twitter because Twitter's so much the best social media platform ever.
You just
You can't even finish that. Yeah, it's at least been a source of continuous entertainment here in the Bay Area because the Twitter building is just across the Bay.
oh, the one that had the flashing sign on it that was giving people literal seizures.
Yep, that had no
Nice.
permits and then got yanked down.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh no, you are correct. The X building. No one. There is one time when I will dead name anything, and it's Twitter.
yes.
When Elon Musk uses the correct name for his daughter, I will use the correct name for his social media platform.
Correct. Yeah.
Wait.
And literally every article I've seen that references it in some way is like X, formerly Twitter.
Right.
That's how I get email notifications about things happening
call
on
themselves that.
Twitter. They have
They
to.
do.
They have to because if
Oh.
they don't, it'll get filed into spam. If just like the from was just X, that would go into spam because it
All the
looks like
time.
it's
the
like
It's
a
dirty
perplexing.
things.
Exactly.
It's the
This
dirty
look like the pornography.
A pornography. Oh no, we cannot have that.
Only 1/3 pornography. Just one.
It's the
Just the
softcore.
Just
God damn it, E.
Sorry, Daddy's mom.
You owe no one any apology for that one. That was excellent.
That was beautiful.
that was excellent.
Oh, and back to the dad jokes. Love it.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Well, we've started off spicy.
Well, I can talk about stuff.
Yes, please do.
I have the lovely segue of Ren talking about the Washington trip. We got to hang out IRL one day,
That's
and
so
we
exciting.
took a day trip out to a town called Port Townsend. And we were walking down the street of Port Townsend, and we saw a sandwich board for a yarn shop, and we both went, yarn shop!
As you do.
It was the fastest, like, oh God, where is it? Because we had to go hunting for it.
We did. There was like sandwich board signs for it, and then nothing.
Oh. Well,
But it ended up being in the old Masonic Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lovely yarn store. We were greeted at the door by one of the workers, and they had like a little area where you could come and work on things.
Oh.
And they had,
A little kids corner.
Yep, a kids corner
fun.
and a trunk of free stuff.
We like free stuff.
Hang on. Let me go grab my haul because I forgot to bring it over.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll begin then. I know I kind of swore off yarn purchases until I used up some of my stash, but how could I say no to this little box from Earth Yarns in their unique sock kit? So
I'm
it's
using
that, like,
Earth Yarns.
self-contained little sock kit. It has this lovely blue yarn in it,
Oh, that's pretty.
variegated. Pardon my ring light. And then it comes with a
Carefully
QR code,
concealed.
carefully concealed to protect the innocent.
Yep.
QR code to the pattern that is shown on the box.
Oh,
That's so
cool.
cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a popular item because there was only the blue and the Pride colorway left, and Ren got the Pride colorway, which I'm sure will be shown shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This yarn shop, it's not your local yarn shop, is it?
No, I had to go very far away.
Well, so when you buy yarn from not your local yarn shop, it doesn't count if you're like
perfect.
swearing
Yeah.
off yarn and stuff. It's
No,
only when you
it's-
buy it from your local yarn shop.
Yeah, souvenir yarn
So if
doesn't
you're-
count. It's special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You're good.
I think it's Bazaar Yarns. Let me look it up real quick. I want to give them like
Okay.
a proper shout out. Bazaar Girls, Bazaar Girls Yarn.
Okay.
And we visited another yarn shop that was in a different building, but nothing jumped out at us there.
Okay.
But the little old lady who was doing stuff was very kind.
Oh, we like that.
You got to show off your sock kit, Ren.
Give me a sec to catch my breath. I had to run upstairs.
Oh no, you.
I brought
no time
everything
for you.
in. I brought everything in, but haven't gotten everything unpacked yet because, for those who don't know, my cat ran away a couple of days ago, and I've been dealing with that since I arrived home. So, but yes, I got a sock kit that is rainbow.
So bright. I love it.
So bright. And it's apparently hand-dyed self-striping and matching sock kit. Unless I do it backwards, in which case I'll be pulling the Greg maneuver.
And you know how that yarn feels because that's what I made that tube top thing out of. It's the same yarn.
Oh, yeah.
From Earth Yarns?
I love
I thought it was a local dyer.
Nope, that one is Earth Yarns.
Made in Turkey.
It's local to
It's on the
Turkey.
box.
But they're the ones that are pretty cool with their colors. I'll be showing off mine in a minute, but I'm knitting with the colors, the colorways indigo and mint. But the mint is a gray color because they're named after the things they use to dye them. So they use they've got a line of all natural dyes. So yeah,
It's just number 64.
well, probably
it's
because
very soft.
Probably because it's that's a multicolored one. Yeah, they're super soft and really nice to work with. A little bit on the splitty side, so just be aware of that as you're going through it.
Noted. Thank you.
Damn, it is soft.
Right?
Right?
It's so nice. Like I use
I'm
it for a lot of
more
stuff
excited.
I'll have to make
He's
sure
like,
to
I'm
not.
about to cast on right now.
And then the place where E and I got that they mentioned the trunk of free stuff. I took free stuff.
Ooh.
Because I mean, when there's skeins in the free stuff,
You take a skein. Ooh.
So this is apparently like Cal Berkeley colors.
Okay.
It's called Bee Stripe.
Is that Lorna's Laces yarn?
Yes.
Oh, that's good stuff.
You have such a good eye for this stuff.
I've been playing with yarn for a little while.
And then I got another one that is Teresa Ruche Designs.
Ooh.
Which, look at those colors.
They're so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very oceanic.
I was going to say, looks like the water.
Yeah. So, like, even though the skein is kind of a mess, like, I want to play with it because these are my colors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I got from that expedition. Yay. The yarn part of the expedition. There was much other shopping.
Yes, at one of the other shops I found Knitter's. Oh, can't see it. Knitter's Gonna Knit.
Knitter's Gonna Knit.
And then I discovered a thing. Well, Tumblr discovered a thing and then shared it on Tumblr, and then I directed me to Facebook. There's a Facebook group called the ADHD Craft Supply Swap. And it's for people who go, I'm going to do this craft. And they get all the supplies for it and they do it once and go, no, I'm done. So I put up for trade or take. I was just like, please take this. Some calligraphy stuff that I haven't used in about 10 years. I kept a couple of pens, my real good pens, but like, it's like, okay, it's time for these to go. They've just been sitting in a cabinet. So I was contacted by a lady on there and she's like, are you sure you just want to get rid of these? Like, I was like, yeah, just pay shipping and get them out of my house. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, well, if you have any yarn. So she sent me a picture of stuff in her stash she was willing to part with, and I was like, oh, well, I like these right here at the top, and circled it and sent the picture back. So I got 4 skeins by a mysterious brand called Yarns Plus.
Oh.
That I can't find anything about anywhere.
That is a very pretty blue.
This is Blue Mist. It is a hand-dyed rayon. Yarn made in USA, dyed in Canada.
Okay.
Hey.
It appears to be a fingering weight. It's very soft. So I've got Blue Mist, and this one is just a dye lot number, no name, different blue. And then this is Blue Tango. This one has some color variations to it.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Green.
No. So ocean colors.
Yeah. And then this one's just another dye lot, no name. Since it's just called Yarns Plus, it's near impossible to Google. The only place I found it was in people's stashes on Ravelry, and all of them were received as a gift from so-and-so. So there's like no additional information.
That would be a fun one to send to what's their face, Emma? The one who does all Made in the Moment.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one to send to Emma in the moment and be like, yo, this feels weird. Can you track this down?
The only thing, like, I found an Instagram for Yarns Plus, but it's a company based out of Africa. And like, I looked at their product and it's all not this. So I'm thinking it was mystery. Like a tiny, I think it was like a tiny dyer and it went under because these tags are, well, they're good. Like, it feels home done.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm thinking it was just like a hobby dyer and they've since decided they don't want to do that anymore.
Totally fair.
And then I'm still working on my doggy sweater. Anybody who's on the Discord
so much more of it.
The trials and tribulations of the dog sweater.
You've been fighting with that neck.
Yeah. So when I was on Rosemary Crafts for my interview that everybody loves, I had part of the butt end done, and then discovered, yes, it was indeed too small, and I had to go up 4 needle sizes to get a gauge.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went from a size 2 to a size 6, and now it does fit my dog.
Yay! That's important.
I love the way the neon pink looks with the pistachio green. This is the chest part, and I'm having a terrible time connecting the chest part to. It's kind of hard to show what is happening here, but like this is the chest part, and this will be the shoulders, and then the neck will be right here. And I'm having a terrible time attaching the chest part to the shoulders. And I got the right side on once before, and I was like, okay, great, now I'll move on to the left side. And something was wrong. I don't know if I had the wrong number of stitches on here or what, but I ended up ripping that back, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna back up to the beginning before the decreases and just start from there. So that's what I'm working on now. I complained a little bit on the Discord I've complained about this pattern a little bit. A lot of it is my own fault for not reading or doing a swatch. But I will say to the designer, Ursa Major Knits, there has to have been an easier way to do this.
Yeah.
This is where we eat the pattern at our resident designers and be like, right, how would you do this for this effect? What would you have done?
They very kindly included a step-by-step photo tutorial on there.
That's good.
But sometimes you need like
more
in between the two pictures. Like, how did we get from this picture to that picture?
Yeah, that's when it's really handy to have a link to a video.
Yeah. And I looked, and there isn't one. But I think after doing it 4 times, I think I've got it now.
Good.
That's very much how I feel about this shawl.
Yeah, it's good enough. The dog is not going to care.
There you go.
The dog loves that you're making her clothing.
Yes, that is true. The dog loves that I'm making her clothing. I tried it on her. It does fit her giant Doberman chest.
Yay!
So we have success in that department. So yeah. Also, I probably should have printed out the pattern instead of have it on my phone, because for this part, I keep having to look at the section I'm doing and then go all the way down to the photo tutorial and follow the photo tutorial and then go all the way back up to where it was.
Yeah.
I have to do that whenever I'm doing like a cabling thing, where I have to keep scrolling back and forth to like, right, how do you do that cable specifically?
Or I suppose I could have put it on my tablet, but
boring.
I like to make things difficult for myself.
I've got where I sit to do my complicated knitting, I've got a little rolly cart that's one of those metal ones. And when I was working on the sweater with all the cables, I printed out just the cable instructions and magneted them to right beside me. So I have my tablet for all the other instructions, but for the cable specifically, I could just have the cable sitting there and read the other instructions and go, okay, knit to here, do the cable, knit here.
It's like she's a professional at this or something.
Yeah, so
I might have been doing this for a little bit. Yeah.
Hi, John.
31 years, give or take. It's...
almost as long as I've been alive.
Oh gosh. Yep. I've been knitting for a while. I love
playing that game.
Yeah.
I love playing that game. It's so funny to me whenever like I mention something about age and Ezra over on QNC is like, I don't like this game. I'm like, oh no, I love this game.
I can make it worse.
Oh gosh.
I've been knitting since I was 2.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, the too cheerful voice.
Now, to be fair, I've been knitting since I was 12, so it's not actually that bad. I just
you're only 10 years older than E.
Yeah, that's not much.
And like by the time I'm your age, I will have been knitting also that much long.
Yeah,
English. I will have been knitting for that long.
Yeah.
That much long. That is perfectly understandable.
We got it.
Bless all y'all's heart.
I always forget, Greg. How old are you?
1972, baby.
You're 15 years older than me.
I love that we've got a grown-up group of people to play our game. there is something. Well, an adult.
It's just an age.
Don't insult us like that. Don't insult us like that.
And experienced. I don't want to call us experienced because, we all together probably haven't been playing all that long, but life experienced group. How's that? There's something to be said for different
yes, ma'am.
age groups and the way we can have fun together.
Life experiences.
Life experiences, yes.
I am done now. That was all of my things.
all
of my
your
many
stuff.
things.
I was talking about that to my friend Adam on Inspiration Point the other day. It was like, I've only been playing TTRPGs for about 6.5 years at this point, which really is not that long, to be perfectly fair. But I've put hundreds of hours in that time.
Yeah.
Because during the pandemic, there were weeks where I was playing in a single 7-day period 9 games.
I would not have the spoons.
That was what was keeping me alive and sane because I lived alone. So it was me and the cats, and anytime that I wanted human social interaction, it was through a computer screen.
And the cats are not very good conversationalists.
They're terrible conversationalists. Wonderful purring though. So, yeah, while I'm not experienced in the same way that like my friends, Spike and Adam are experienced in that they've been playing TTRPGs for 30 plus years. I can hold my own as far as number of hours played.
You were grinding.
I was grinding for that XP, man.
Yeah. Like I probably started playing TTRPGs before you were born.
Probably.
Or close to when you were born, but you've definitely got more hours than I do. Because I had a huge drought.
Well, and also, like, I've played in so many systems. Like, a lot of people that I know have only played D&D and maybe like one other. D&D.
I've only played D&D 5e with you guys, and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
I was going to say, was it Advanced Dungeons and Dragons?
Gotcha.
AD&D
Wonderful.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Let's see. D&D, Call of Cthulhu, Delta Green, Monster of the Week, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Burn Bright with that I played with James Incasio, which was really cool.
Did you play any Abide Asteria?
No, I did not. Okay. I'm interested in that though. Like I want to try all of the systems. I'm going to be in a Shadowrun crossover game that I'm very excited about. I've never played Shadowrun.
Ooh,
and I've been invited because I'm part of the Redacted Reports, and they were like, "Yo, any of the cast members interested in playing in a Shadowrun game? You don't have to have any experience." I'm like,
please.
Yeah. I've been wanting to play anyway, so this is a great chance to like expand and network.
Well,
and meet people.
I definitely recommend trying Kids on Brooms if you get a chance. That's what we play for Chromatic Academy on Ink and Lyre on Mondays.
I've heard a lot of fun things about that system. I haven't gotten to try it out.
It reminds me of Monster of the Week in that it's very role play heavy. You don't have to roll for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do roll, it matters. And I've also been playing Spell the RPG, which is kind of like Scrabble and Yahtzee had a baby.
Interesting.
You have to roll to get the number of tiles, and then from those tiles, you create a word that is your magical spell. And
I kind of love that magic system.
It's very cool. Like the first permanent spell I rolled for my character, I went with Vibe. And so you can be very creative in how you use Vibe. Like I've used it to put chill vibes into a cup of tea and do like a calming spell on someone. and I've used it to like read the vibe of the room and figure out what's going on.
So you know the system I want to try. I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with you got a person who makes both a zombie and a ghost.
What was that system?
That was a
that's
Danny
mine.
original.
It was so fun.
That's actually on my list of things to talk to E about when we finish our call, because E played in it and has the basics, and we want to talk about doing a full-on actual layout for it and putting it up on like Drive-Thru RPG or something.
Oh, cool.
And making it available, because it was so much chaotic fun.
A hoot and a half.
It was just
as soon as it's on Drive-Thru RPG, I'll be like, buy now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So fun.
Talk to Lady Bedivere, because she has several one pagers on Drive-Thru RPG, or maybe not on itch.io.
Yeah.
One of those like sites. But she has several, and she's very good at the layout. So if you all want to like talk to her about that, she has experience on it.
Okay.
I am not volunteering you, Lady Bedivere, if you're listening, but I am pointing out that we do know people with experience.
And we always like to talk to our friends.
Yep.
Yep. So yes, I'm
that was so much fun. You guys should stream it again sometime.
Can we do that
situations?
Can we do that as like a one shot on here?
Oh yes. We could totally do it as here.
Okay, we need to kill one of the characters.
Sure, I'll kill a Assault off for that. That would be funny.
And that character could be the zombie and ghost.
If only just to watch how the rest of the team would like crumble. It would be so funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We should have that in our back
those gears are
pocket.
turning.
Yeah, we should have that in our back pocket in case there's an incident.
You never know.
Or even just have it as like an April Fool's kind of game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Danny can attest. April Fools and what if scenarios. They don't have to be canonical.
Exactly.
They're just fun.
And you know, there are so many times, because we are, as we established, adult-ish, and have things in our lives that come up like family and work and travel, and it's not unusual for us to run across a week where one of the players can't be here. And if we have one of the players gone, that's 4 players plus a DM. So that could be 2 pairs of ghosts and zombies.
Yeah.
As we could try the multiplayer version instead of just the 2-player version.
PvP ghost and zombies.
Yeah. Oh, this could be all sorts of fun. Yeah, we'll have to do it as a bonus episode somewhere here. Right, I guess we should talk about knitting some more, I suppose.
We are talking about gaming.
Which
that is still
part
of the that is still topical. That's the word that I wanted. Topical. Boy, I may or may not be streaming after this. It's been a couple of days.
Yeah. Well,
I'll go.
Yes, what are you working on?
Okay. I'll go then. So I'll tell you what I've not been working on is my D&Dster project, which I started. It's at the same state that it was last time we talked. And this is I'm calling it a colored egg bag. It's for when you collect colored eggs, you can put them in this little bag. It's very, very similar to a dice bag.
Tiny colored eggs.
It's a dice bag.
Jelly bean bag.
It's a jelly bean bag. There we go.
A jelly bean bag. Thank you, E.
The best.
Coming to the rescue.
I'll finish it by Easter, because Easter happens every year. So that'll be fine.
Yep.
It's a moving target, though.
It is very much. But what I have been working on is a pair of socks. So this is my second sock. Thank you. And it is in the yarn from Nordic Star Yarns. Jenny, the owner behind that, dropped Pam and me a note, who's Pam's my co-host on the Unraveling Knitting podcast, and said, I would like to dye up yarn like with the colors that you use in your logos and everything, call it like an unraveling knitting podcast colorway.
Oh,
Like, yeah, sure, you
so
could do that.
cool.
And so she did, and she sent it to us. So it's, a lot of the black and then like the red and white, was pretty prominent in our logos
I
and
like
stuff.
that.
And she has this red that we used for the heel that I'm using for the heels and toes and cuff, obviously.
So
This
it
time I
wasn't just a
weighed my
10 gram?
yarn. It was a 21 and a half, 22 gram. It
Excellent.
was a generous 20 grams. And so, yes, I've got my scale right here because I'm working on the cuffs. I'll see, when I need to quit, when I've still got half of this left. But I love how it's been like kind of random here, and then it got like a little spirally up here,
Yeah,
which
that's what's really cool.
it might be because I added an extra stitch right here by accident.
Is that what that marker is marking?
That this marker is on the extra stitch. You can, well, it'd be too
Could see
fuzzy, I
a little
think,
bit of
but
a hole.
A little bit.
a little bit of a hole there. And I discovered this extra stitch when I was about here. So
Yay!
I was not going to drop down and fix it because I wouldn't be able to redistribute the yarn. So I was actually planning on just ripping it all back to here to get it and then come back. I posted about it on my Instagram, and someone who was much smarter than me, and this is Diane, science teacher, and she said, you could just sew it up and then weave in the ends. So I said, okay, there you go.
There
That'll
you
be
go.
good because I also could leave it because it's not going to drop any further.
Right,
Because it's
because
not a
it's an
drop
extra
stitch. It's a created stitch, and but the hole is visible, and then once it gets on my leg, which will stretch it out, it will definitely be visible. So I do want to close it. So I did when I got up to where I noticed it. I did a knit two together so I could get back to the correct stitch count. So, but you can see that these diagonal black, swirl happened like right after this spot. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of the addition of one stitch, or it is because I just got to that point in the skein and the dye was off a little bit because when you dye it, it's stretched out, and so it's not completely
perfect.
uniform.
Yeah.
Or if my gauge changed for some reason. There are
Lots
a
of
number
possibilities.
of possibilities. Exactly, lots of possibilities. Whatever. I do like the spirally effect. I did several yarns that do this sort of thing. It's kind of stacked up. But I also like this non-spirally effect. So we'll see what happens when I knit the first sock
Yeah.
to see what it does. So that's what I've been working on. That's it.
Can I ask a dumb question?
You could. No questions are dumb. You can ask a question.
So you said what the marker on the front is for. When you held it up, I saw like a spine of markers on the back. What are those
Yeah.
marking?
Every 20 rounds, I put a marker so that I
Okay.
know I did 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 rounds before I switch to the red. So that when I start my first sock, I can know I know I do 100 rounds. Some people will just measure. They'll do a certain length, inches or centimeters. Let's look at it. I made Diane. I'm sorry. I made Danny
Yeah, no,
like,
no,
poop herself.
You do
And
you do
she
you.
was like, right.
Just
Yeah,
measure
so-
with your heart. It's fine.
No.
Oh, you mean like
Like
the
when I
amount of
first-
rum that I put in here?
Rum
I
can be
first
measured with your
started
heart.
the knitting-
Socks, not so much.
It's like the difference between cooking and baking.
Right. But yeah, people said, yeah, you just knit until it's 8 inches or 10 or what. I said, no, okay, I'll do that the first time. And then I will note that in order to get X inches or centimeters or whatever unit of measure you're using, that was Y number of rounds. And then I will do the next one, the same number of rounds, because I'm an engineer and that's what you do. People who do it otherwise are doing it wrong. I love you if you're doing it wrong, but you're still
doing it wrong.
I have realized that for anything that involves double point needles, I almost need to start like with the cuff and work down with like socks and things, because backstory a little bit, I'm making baby blankets for my new niece and nephew that were born within a month of each other. and the one that I'm making for my baby nephew, who is very cute. And I got to hold a whole lot while I was in Washington. Is a double point needle starting from basically the center and working your way out. Mm-hmm. I am not good at those. So I tried starting it a few times and then just put it aside because I was getting irritated. So now I'm realizing that doing like socks, I'm probably going to start from the cuff and work down because like with like the hats with like the hats that I made, I was fine with like coming down to that point and then pulling. I was fine with that.
Yep. Yeah, when you start with like there's 68 stitches on the needles there. Double pointed needles, they're fiddly or not, depending on how comfortable you are with them.
I'm not at all.
68 stitches versus 16 stitches that I started with down here. World of difference.
Yeah, and the blanket that I'm looking to start starts with 8 stitches, and they were like, spread these across 4 double point needles, and I was like, I am going to put those on 3. That's too many.
Next time I come visit you, we're going to learn the joys of Magic Loop.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Because it is really a joy once you get the hang of it and figure out how it works for you.
He was telling me about that once they got the hang of it.
Yeah. I know DB still thinks Magic Loop is the devil, and that's okay.
It's a magic spell.
It is.
And I'm ambivalent towards Magic Loop because I'm good with DPNs, so I've never needed to do that.
Yeah, I definitely am having like that moment of, man, I wish I had the wherewithal because my grandma was the one who made blankets for us and she knitted a bunch. And I wish that I'd had the wherewithal to be like, Grandma, can you teach me how to do that? Because she would do it while we were sitting and watching television. Mm-hmm. And I'm mildly annoyed that it's taken me this long to actually like get into knitting. Yeah. But now I'm enjoying it. So,
The important thing is you're here now.
I'm here now. Exactly. I am here matters. And this is now.
That's all the knitting I have. Someone else's turn.
Well, I'm not done with the row, but I'm also probably not going to finish the row in a timely manner, so I'll go ahead and go. I'm still working on the forever shawl.
Nothing wrong with that. It's so pretty.
It's looking so good.
It's really pretty. When I finish this one, I think I'm going to start one on that blueberry yarn that I showed you, Danny.
Ooh, yes, please.
And I'm gonna make that for myself because so pretty. But like, it never really struck me before like how different the sizes of skeins are. Because like this, almost big enough to finish and give to someone. This is a single skein still.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one that I started with, the yarn that I got from Alaska, was two of the skeins that I had gotten, and I was losing at Yarn Chicken.
Yeah.
I still have a whole nother one ready to go.
Just means that you can make it really giant if you want.
It's going to be huge.
But those are wonderful to wrap up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is meant as a gift, eventually. Yeah. Birthdays and Christmas happen every year.
Exactly.
There you go.
Hey, the Unraveling Yarn is available for pre-order.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We should plug that.
I am working on it.
Well, I appreciate you, E.
Speaking of gifts, can you see all of the cables in the sweater? So this is going to Tiana. As soon as I finish weaving in all the ends are very cleverly hidden at the moment, but there are so many ends. There are
I believe it.
Probably about 40 ends to weave in. And I've done 6. So I'm starting. But I wanted to show it off and I changed the contrast. It's so pretty. Like, look at all these cables. There's everything is just cables. And you can
I'm going to just wrap up in that sweater and not move for the rest of spring.
All the parts that aren't cable are this waffle type texture. So everything is textured. There is no straight stockinette on this thing at all.
For my non-diagnosed ADHD brain, I love that because I can just like run my fingers along it.
Everything is textured and it just is. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So that is one of the things I'm working on is weaving in the ends. but the knitting is done. And big thanks
Yay!
to the lovely person on Ravelry, who I didn't ask if I could share her name, so I'm not going to, but I reached out to everyone I could find who had a partial skein of this stuff left, because it is discontinued yarn and has been for years. And she had just enough to finish like the last 2 inches of the shoulder and then all of the edging. And I had about 2 grams left. And
is it as cozy as it looks?
It is. It's not like super hot because it is fingering weight, but because it's cabled, the yarn is
clumps
thicker than just a plain fingering weight. So I'd say it's probably not quite as heavy as the red one, but close.
Okay.
So
I'm starting. I have my Danny sweater collection because we're about the same size, and so when she gets the yen to go and make a sweater. She lives in Georgia. I live in the Bay Area,
yes.
San Francisco Bay Area.
You are in a much more appropriate climate.
for all of the year except for like 3 weeks in September when it gets really hot.
So there's this. I can't show you the other thing that I finished because it is now officially a secret. I double checked. But I have designed the birthday shawl for my local yarn shop.
Hey,
and
nice.
It is knit using the Fantasy Fiber Arts yarn. She's going to have a special birthday colorway. And I am super excited. I'll probably show you guys the shawl afterwards because I'm so pleased with it. But I took it in.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, I took it into the shop on Saturday and showed it to Cheryl, the owner, and she just was over the moon for it. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to get it written up, and I'll probably need test knitters just to make sure that the pattern's okay, because I'm having to make a couple of little tweaks because I want to make sure that there's a bit of a buffer in case your gauge doesn't match exactly. Like, I used up all my yarn, but I don't want people to run out of yarn because they're a little bit looser than me.
Yarn chicken sucks.
Yeah. So I've carefully done the math for it. So I'm pretty sure that I can reduce it properly, but I'm going to need testers just to make sure that my knitting math matches real life. How's that?
Yeah. When I design shawls, I aim for using 90% of the yarn that is allotted, so that there's a 10% buffer.
Yeah.
And then when I start rounding off, I round more.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is going to be designed to take a 400 yard skein of a main color, a fingering, and 2 80 yard skeins, 20 gram skeins.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got to do a little bit of math, but I'm thinking the math's gonna math. But once I finish that, I finally started on my D&Dster project. And I can show you what I've got so far. I am knitting the pattern.
You're knitting a map?
I'm knitting a map. I'm knitting a dungeon.
Yay!
And it is double knitting, so on the opposite side, it's the opposite colors.
Oh my god.
And I'm struggling a little bit with the edges.
yeah.
It's every time I start back, it looks a little bit weird on this side. But you know what? It's going to be fine. It'll mostly block out. And the first couple of rows, I wasn't joining properly, and so there's a hole.
It's a hidden pocket. It's where you can put
Exactly.
the pieces.
That's where the minis will go.
The charms go there.
That's where the mimic hides.
I'm actually going to try adding the charms straight to the scarf. That was an option. They said you can either place them as you're playing, or you can put them, like, stitch them in. And I think I'm going to try stitching them in. That way I don't have anything to lose.
That will make it so your map is only playable on one side.
Not necessarily, because you can flip it over and just not have anything in it. Put your own monsters in there.
You go. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice. Yes,
The brain,
I have
it
that
works.
same pattern Yes, I have that same pattern, and I took the course on double knit, the class on double knit when I went to the Fiber Fest, so that I can feel
Confident.
comfortable,
Yeah.
yeah, and confident and worthy of knitting that pattern. And I'm going to do one more
Worthy.
thing before I even attempted it. I'm going to knit a double knit cowl,
Mm-hmm.
which I have the pattern and yarn for. I just have too many other things on my needles right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is another project that is a thinky project. It lives upstairs next to my cart with the good light and the pattern. And
where the sweater used to live.
exactly where the sweater used to live. This has replaced the sweater. The sweater is done, so I needed a new thinky pattern. So this is the thinky pattern. And I've still got like 2 or 3 different sets of socks on the needles in various stages of completion that I haven't picked up lately because I've wanted to work on this. But I can only do about 10 rows at a time, just because it's a lot. Like, you're knitting both sides at the same time, so your 10 rows is essentially knitting 20.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's fingering weight.
Fingering weight with a lot of yarn management. And, you know, I only have so many hours in a day, but I'm doing about 10 rows at a time. And
here I figured you'd figured out the time turner technology.
No.
With all the stuff that you've managed to do.
If I had, there would be a couple of more things that are done, and they're not done because I have not figured out the time turner technology, but man, once I do,
it's over for us bitches.
Well, honestly, once I do, it's over for the bitches I work with because I'm going to quit. I'm going to use my time turner technology to do the cool stuff, and I'm going to like knit and write full time. Screw this doing a job for other people. I'm not going to waste the time turner technology on that. They're not worth it.
No.
And you're going to loop your friends in on this, right?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I will share with the important people.
This is how I will actually get like all the podcasts done that I want to do.
Yep.
I will just use it to sleep.
Oh, no, that's half of the point of it is that you can do all your things and sleep.
Right.
Right now,
I will sleep in like the time traveling turning mode, and then like in regular mode, I'll just be awake all the time.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
Well, because if you're asleep, you don't run the risk of running into yourself.
That's what I'm saying. You see, I wasn't even thinking about that, but I was.
But you'll never know what your hair looks like from the back.
But you know what? I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I know what my hair looks like from the back. There's a big bald spot right back here. I see it every time I get my hair cut. And it's so funny watching the barber try to hide the way he holds the mirror to not show me that I have a bald spot. I'm like, I know it's there. You don't have to hide it. It's my head.
Look, I think that bald spots can be very attractive. Hugh Laurie has a bald spot. I did not realize that until I was on set with the man, but he's also very tall, so cameras don't always catch that. It.
I'm 6 foot. Most people don't even see my bald spot.
Exactly.
I'm too short.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess it was just because you were next to Hollow. I didn't realize how tall you were.
That will make a difference.
Hollow's also like 6'5", isn't he?
Yeah.
Hollow is 6'11".
Last time I went to the doctor and they measured me, they said I was 6'1". I said, I thought you were supposed to shrink when you got older. Pretty sure it's because it was first thing in the morning, and you're taller in the morning than you are in the evening.
Yeah.
So.
You and DB are about the same height.
Yes.
This amuses me.
I was very short.
You and your best friend and me are about the same height.
You were like our little halfling.
I really was.
I'm just a little bit taller than Danny, and I know this for a fact because I've stood next to her.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe 2 inches taller than her.
You'll have to make sure that you join us for the next group thing so that the heights are more equally represented.
We'll average out to an average height.
The smalls and the talls.
And by the way, E, I count you in with the talls, so.
Oh, thank you.
One of us.
How tall are you, E?
5'7".
Okay.
I'm Con O'Neill height.
You're more of the average human height.
Yeah. Tall for an AFAB.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually really funny because when I was writing Rowan's character description, I said average height 5'8". I was like, wait, that's not average height for a woman in the U.S. She's tall for a woman.
So if we take the very talls and the very smalls, do we average out to an E?
Probably.
I think so. Because I'm 5'3.5". You're what, 5'1"?
5'2" on a good day.
In the morning, 5'2" in the morning.
Look, I say 5'3.5" and then round up to 5'4" because I'm lazy.
I think I'm technically 5'2 1/4". But
so you and I will represent the small side of the weight, and then it's E, and then Greg and DB, and then Hollow.
Hollow is an outlier and should not have been counted.
Technically, Danny and I are outliers.
it's fine. Half the podcast doesn't count. We're cool.
I count. I know lots of numbers.
He does. I was careful not
does.
to let him know what I was counting.
Yes.
Oh, DB's not here to show the sticker I got for her.
Oh, here's the sticker that he got for me.
Oh, you got it to her already? Damn.
Yeah.
It arrived.
You fasty.
It says just one more row.
I was
and it's a
also
knitting
surprised
sheet.
by how fast they arrived.
Mine's in the other room.
I had to add it to
says-
the sticker board.
Hang on, or don't talk to me, I'm counting.
There was a short argument, Greg, about which one would go to you, because there was also one about fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
But we decided to get all
knitting.
Yeah.
Yes. It
wasn't.
mine
I
was
mean,
like-
argument. It wasn't an argument.
Discussion.
It was a discussion.
Yes.
Right. Mine came with a card that said, if you're not doing something with Irish dance or fishing, and then the sticker was like, probably at the yarn shop. Everyone in my family agreed that was accurate.
Nice.
We all chuckled. And Blueberry was especially pleased to be recognized for the Irish dancing.
Aw.
So,
Well, she's very important.
indeed.
That's still
Were it
on
not
my
for
list.
the bloob, you would not be here with us now.
Very true.
Yes, that is important.
It's always odd to think about like how things would be different if one element hadn't happened.
Sliding doors, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get back
If
to
I
that
hadn't
story.
agreed to go meet our mutual friends, if our mutual friend hadn't said, do you want to go meet my friend from high school at the McDonald's when she took me home for Thanksgiving when I was in college, I would not have met DB.
Which means that I would have never met you because DB is my connection to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and if I had made
Anybody
like,
else here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
if I had made like 3 different decisions in my life, I would still be in Alaska working as a paramedic. I would have never started playing TTRPGs. Which, like, can you imagine? I can't even imagine that life.
If I hadn't randomly stumbled across the Majestic Goose Twitch channel, just as I was looking through random things, I want to say it was Adam playing one of the solo games. I thought, this sounds really cool. And I followed the channel. And then
And here we are.
subscribed to it. And yeah, if I hadn't
And now
randomly
you
run
create
across
content for it.
it.
You know
Weird.
how I found Majestic Goose Network?
How?
There was a sticker for Halfway to Heroes in my Libris Arcana dice subscription.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, I was making a point of checking out all of the things that had put their logos and whatever into Libris Arcana. So I looked it up, and I thought that, like, I listened to Halfway to Heroes. I thought it was fun. I started listening more regularly, became a patron, wound up in Halfway to Heroes, which was
That's
a trip.
Yeah.
When I got to that episode, I was like, I know these people.
Oh my God. I was actually listening to the episode where Merlin was like, oh yeah, Tiana, that's my sister. And I was like, what?
Yep.
And I was like, okay, cool.
I love that I got to be a bartender.
That was actually where I got the idea for having patrons submit names to be used in game, was from Halfway to Heroes doing that. And so that's why that's a patron perk on the Redacted Reports.
I love that.
because I loved it. Even just like hearing, like, I didn't expect it, because Dan goes deeper than I do. Dan was like, these characters must be important because people paid money for this. And I was over here like, I was just thrilled to hear a name that I had put in pop up.
Yeah, right?
Didn't the Adventure Zone start doing that?
Probably.
Like at the very beginning, they were using people who like followed the Twitter or something.
That sounds right.
And then they stopped because people were getting a little cuckoo bananas about it.
Well, and that's definitely one of the dangers of things like that, where it's like, okay, these are
Bodie McBoatface.
These are names to be used at the GM's discretion. You don't get to control the character.
Yep.
That's always a thing. You know, wherever you are creators, wherever there are creations, there are people who get a little bit intense about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's okay. Mostly.
I was like, I'm not going to soften that one, because sometimes it's not okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's true. But there's nothing we can do about it except tell people to be cool.
Yep.
And hope that they listen.
Be cool. We want to like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm playing Yarn Chicken with my cuff now.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just checked. I started with the 21 gram, ball here, and I just weighed it, and I've got I gotta weigh it again. It was like 12 point something left. So I want to get to where I've got 11 laps. So I'm using 10 grams on the second sock.
Right.
I'll use 10 grams on the first sock and have a gram left over for spare. So so I'm at 12.3 grams left. So I've got 1.3 grams left to play with, and my cuffs are only about 8 stitches tall. And I usually go for 20. So I'm only halfway there.
See,
I didn't start ribbing until I
transitioned.
Was there. Like I could have started ribbing in the I'll pull it up so it shows up a little better. I could have started ribbing, in the unraveling the podcast colorway, but I only started ribbing here. It'll be fine.
I mean,
it'll be fine.
When I do socks,
they might be quitters.
I only do about 10 rounds of ribbing.
Yeah.
But I also tend to make
shorty
socks.
I'm so much taller than you, though. I'm so much taller.
Yeah. You've got a few inches on
10 rounds and 20, it's more proportional for me. So.
Yeah. And actually, just looking at the length of your sock.
Yeah.
Because I do shorties all the time. I like shorty socks better.
Yeah, so on this
that's more like a knee length almost.
Well, it's only going to be about a third of the way up my calf.
Okay, so on us, it would
remember he's tall.
You are tall. Because I look at that and be like, that would be most of the way to my knee.
Yeah, see what I have now comes up to about a quarter of the way up my calf, and usually, like from the heel to the cuff, I do 90 rounds. I did 100 rounds this time. Yeah, I did 100 rounds this time, and I still am going to end up with about 20 grams of my Unraveling a Podcast colorway left over. Like I try to split it so that I have, not much left over, but I've only used, 40 grams of that main color instead of 50. So I mean, I could have gone taller, but I wanted to leave about 20, and what I'll do is I'll end up making another little yarn cozy like this.
Or you can make some hand warmers.
Or some hand warmers. Hand warmers from Blueberry to match my socks.
There you go.
I am actually considering making hand warmers to go with this shawl.
Oh yeah.
Because I will have tons of that. I'm like possibly a hat as well. Like there'll be tons of yarn of this colorway left over.
Yep. Might I recommend the Musselburgh? Or
the what?
The Musselburgh hat.
Go on.
It's just a super
have
simple
you not
hat.
been here for the muscle breast saga?
No, I have not.
We had a long discussion.
I missed last session, remember?
I think it was actually in Discord that we talked about the Musselburgh a lot.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
But I've knit 2 of them lately, and I use up basically an entire skein to make the musselburgh hat. But it's it you make basically a sausage, and then shove one inside the other, and it's a double layer hat, and then you can flip up the brim and have 4 layers around your ears.
Wow.
But if you're looking to use up a bunch of yarn for a hat, it uses a full skein of fingering.
Good to know. Although, like, a skein of what weight? Because I have to ask that now, because that's
Yes.
different weights and different sizes.
Yeah. The barley by Tin Can Knits is another good one. I think they've got a barley light that uses fingering weight, because the standard barley uses worsted, I believe. But that is a hat that I use as a jumping off point for so many things. Like, anytime I want to make myself a hat, I start with the barley for the stitch count for the brim, and like the stitch count to get to the head to do the decreases, and then just throw my own stuff in the middle.
I mean, obviously.
Well, because it's a really simple, just knits and purls hat. There's a stockinette section and a garter section, and that's it. But I've done it with cables and with textures and
Just whatever you want.
whatever my heart sings for.
You measure that with your heart.
Yes. Just like rum, but not socks.
It's like
But why is the rum gone?
that can be remedied, can't it?
But
I
should
mean, I
it?
could just walk off stream again.
Oh, goodness. Although I feel like that might actually be a stopping point. The rum is gone. The knits have been discussed.
And so are we.
Unless anyone else has stuff to talk about.
No.
Keep posting in the D&Deaster thread, because Easter's next Sunday.
Yep.
Not
Yes.
this Sunday. This Sunday.
No, it's coming up.
The next
this
Sunday that we run
upcoming
into.
Sunday.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, so non-Orthodox Easter is coming up. Orthodox Easter is a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
So you can continue on to non-Orthodox or to Orthodox Easter if you haven't finished by Orthodox
Or
Easter.
you can continue on to next year.
Exactly.
'Cause
Easter comes
as we have
every year.
established, Easter happens every year.
Exactly. And again, we don't have any prizes. It's just, for us to all sort of
It's like
together.
NaNoWriMo.
It is. It is.
As for a sense of accomplishment and a finished object.
Yes. And I think this is going to be our last week putting up the stuff about Tannis Knits. So, by all means, check out all of the Tannis Gray books. There are many, many of them, including some that feature our very own Knitting Daddy. Woo.
Indeed. I don't have it at my desk anymore because I took it to the Fiber Fest I went to. So, I'll pretend. Page 188 for...
We'll just
add it in
get
post.
that in post. Yeah.
There we go.
That's right.
We'll
Good
fix it
job,
up.
Eve.
It's a
You're
di-
right there with me on that joke.
It's a dice bag that looks very similar to this construction
Excellent, excellent.
with pumpkins instead of Crits&Knits on it.
Well, thank you all for joining us for this knits-only episode of Crits and Knits. We're still working out what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. We've got potentially someone out, potentially me, we don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Keep an eye on our socials. I'll try to be better posting when we're going to cancel than when we actually play. But hey, I put it in Discord today, so cool.
Yep.
Discord is a place
love
to
you,
be.
Love you, Danny's
Yes.
mom. You're great.
Love you, Mom. And let me go ahead and find the invite link again. And we're just going to drop...
I almost wish that my new tower was like a Mac so that I could get the heart hands.
Yeah. Hi, baby. And Hershey's going to have her surgery next week, so
Oh.
we got the date. So it's going to be next Wednesday. So I will try to keep everyone posted with her news as well.
Yes, please do.
So. All right. Hopefully we'll see lots of you in the Discord. And I guess until next time, happy knitting.
Bye.
Bye.